Here's my story on how I broke my jaw. Part 3.
Is a continuation of the story time of the lady that broke her jaw when she went to drink with a colleague. She did part one and part two, and now she has done part three and part four. For you to understand the whole story time, you have to have watched part one, the first part of the video that I posted, which was the part one and part two, people's reaction to it, which was the second part of the video. Then this is like the third part of the video while she's completing the whole story. So this is the whole story time, okay? So I personally have been wanting to know what happened because imagine you going out to drink with your colleague, just few drinks, and you woke up the next day to brush your teeth. Looking at the mirror, your jaw is broken, your teeth fell out, blood everywhere in the sitting room, your hair is full of blood, everywhere is full of blood. And your colleague is telling you that your colleague is a man, okay? And is telling you that you fell off the stairs. So the math is not matching, like so many things, so many questions, so many answers that we need to know. Anyway, let's go ahead and watch the remaining part of the story, then we'll come back here and discuss.
Here's my story on how I broke my jaw. Part 3. I literally could have died that night and no one would have known what would happen. My coworker is being so dodgy with answering questions. I'm asking him what happened after I fell. Did I fall when I first got there? What did I do? Did I know that I fell? Like, was I acting like I was drugged or was I just drunk? Like, I told him I was at the hospital. Like, I think I'm gonna get like a drug test, like whatever. And he's like, yeah, do it. And then he pulls the, well, you did leave me for 15 minutes at the club. And I was like, what do you mean I left you? He's like, you went and talked to other people like for 20 minutes. I end up calling my boyfriend and he picks me up and immediately takes me to the hospital. The first hospital we go to completely wastes my time. They did nothing for me. We spent 8 hours there. They did literally nothing. They took pee samples. I don't even think they took blood samples. I think they just gave me an IV. And then they were like, yep, your jaw's broken, but we don't handle that here. And I was like, so what? They didn't even give me medicine. They gave me like literally nothing. We ended up going to Boston Hospital. Thankfully, my boyfriend's mother works in hospitals. She was able to get me a private room that same day. Literally, thank you God, because I don't know what I would have done without that. I check in around 7 p.m. and let me just say, I've already used the bathroom at this point. I brushed my teeth. I took a shower before we went to the Boston Hospital. There was so much blood in my hair and just everywhere. They're asking if I want to do a grape kit, and I'm like, no, because in my head, let me say again, for the first like 3 days, I did not think anyone was the villain at all. In my head, I also thought that nothing like that would ever happen to me. It's never even crossed my mind that like I could be in danger like that. I don't ever think about myself like that at all in those situations. So at first I said no. Mind you, I already showered, already used the bathroom, already brushed my teeth, and I was also just in so much pain. I just really didn't feel like doing a kit, and I also genuinely didn't think that anything would ever happen or that he would have done anything to me to begin with. My boyfriend and everyone asked the hospital a million times to please take blood samples and test me to see if I've been drugged. They took literally like 12 blood samples. This was my arm from how many blood samples they took from me. And we made it very clear, like, please drug test me. We get the test results back from the hospital, and those mother effers didn't even test me for drugs. They tested me for alcohol, which like, and then they tested me for some sort of psychosis medicine. They didn't test for Xanax, they didn't test for a roofie, they didn't test for a Molly, they didn't test for anything that we specifically asked for. Like, what did you do with my 12 samples of blood? What do you mean you didn't freaking test me when I'm sitting here debating a grape kit? I'm telling you I don't remember my night. I'm coming in with a broken jaw. I end up getting discharged from the hospital. Literally everybody is telling me, you need to file a police report. You need to get the police involved. And I was like, I don't want to. Like, I really don't want to. Because I just knew that the police couldn't do anything. But they were like, they can go to the club. They can view the footage. They can see if you've been drugged. They can question this man. They can get everyone's story. Like, if he ever did anything to anyone else or anything like that, like, they would have it on file. Like, you need to file a police report. And I was like, okay. At the beginning, I just didn't want to do any of that. I did not think that my coworker was in the wrong. I thought it was nice of him that he cleaned me up, had to deal with all that. Like, I've only known him for like 2 months, you know what I mean? It's not like we were besties. I felt like a burden, you know, that there's nothing worse than like being that drunk friend, and that's what I felt like. I was literally so embarrassed. So about 6 days after the incident, we went and filed a police report. The thing is that I didn't know what I wanted from the police report. I didn't know what I wanted the police to get from me, which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to do the police report. I guess my biggest thing was I really wanted them to check the footage of the club and question my coworker that was involved. That's literally, I think, all I wanted from them. So we open the police report. I tell them everything. I give them all the screenshots that I have. I give them everything. And they're like, okay, like we're gonna go to the club. We're gonna see if they have the footage. We're gonna do everything that we can to help you. Days go by and I don't hear anything from the police. Here is my story on how I broke my jaw. Days go by and I don't hear anything from the police. Mind you, my coworker texted me again, checking up on me, asking if I was okay. We called the detective days later and we're like, hey, anything? They say they went to the club to get the footage, but they got new security systems on the 21st, so all that footage is gone. I broke my jaw on the 18th. So all that footage is gone. I think clubs don't like sharing footage because it makes them look bad. They don't want to be known as the place where a girl got roofied, taken home and assaulted, and woke up with a broken jaw. You know what I mean? They don't want any smoke. So they got a new system. Could the police have pushed harder? I don't know. Do they actually care? Probably not. My detective was also a fucking man, so they're like, so that's out of the board. Like, a drug test would really help. And we're like, well, we tried to get a drug test. The hospital didn't test us. A hair test, maybe we can go that route, hoping that they would help with the expenses, because it's like $700 for a fucking hair test. We're on our own. We're on our own with that. Hospital won't help. The police won't help. Insurance won't help. No one's gonna help us cover the hair test. So then we're like, well, did you pull my coworker in? Did you get his side of the story? He was like, we reached out to him. He said he was gonna come in. He never did. This was days ago. So that's it. That's it. They didn't keep trying to contact him. They didn't, like, the police don't fucking care. They don't care about anything. They didn't care about answers. They didn't care about me. They didn't try at all. You know what I mean? And this is exactly why I didn't even want to go to the police in the first place. Because I know that they're so fucking useless. They don't do anything, ever. Especially for a woman. And especially for a colored woman. So that really pissed me off. And it was just, like, confusing to me. I was getting really, really confused with why my coworker wasn't just telling us what happened to me that night. Like, what happened that you cannot tell us? And I remember I was texting him and I was trying to get the story from him. I have a boyfriend, and I didn't know if anything happened between me and my coworker that night. So I was trying to get that out of him. And by doing so, I was kind of setting it up to be like, you know, my boyfriend's really upset with me. Did you tell him what we did that night? My boyfriend knew all this. We were just trying to get my coworker and see if he would admit that something happened. And he said, no, I didn't tell him anything, but do you remember now? And I was like, oh my god, like, did something fucking happen? Because I don't remember. And when we told the police that, they told me to stop contacting him. So we didn't go any further with that, even though I think I could have got something out of him. The whole thing really stresses me out because we don't know when I fell and broke my jaw, right? He could have got me home and I could have immediately fell and broke my jaw. Or he could have got me home, he could have done something to me. I could have been going to the bathroom and then fell and broke my jaw. Do you know what I mean? We don't know anything because he wouldn't tell us the fucking story. So now I'm really getting, like, stressed out and pissed off at the fact that I'm not getting any answers and it looks like I'll never get closure. The drug test fell through. I didn't do the grape kit. Which, ladies, if you're ever even debating on doing a grape kit, just do it. Like, if I could go back in time and do it, I would, like, I wish I had done it, and I really wish that we pushed for the drug test, but whatever. After the detective calls me and tells me that my coworker never showed up for questioning, my coworker then hits me up again to see how I'm doing. And he's like, you know, I know you went to the police, I don't blame you for that. I want you to know that I am going to be going in, giving my statement. I wasn't supposed to be talking to him. In some way, hearing that he was going to finally say his side of the story brought me some sort of peace. And I was like, maybe I'll finally know what happened to me. And he even said, he was like, I hate that you will never get the closure that you need. What do you mean you hate I'll never get it? You can fucking give it to me. Like, you can tell me every single thing that happened that night. Unless you magically don't remember anymore either. Like, It was like he was just playing games. He doesn't understand that, like, I broke my jaw. My life has been on pause for the last 6 weeks. Literally was couch ridden for 2 weeks. I couldn't even move. I was crying. I was having panic attacks. Like, and he's saying, I'm sorry, you'll never get the closure you need. You can give that to me. It doesn't make any sense. So whatever, that was the last time I heard from him, and that was the last time I heard from the detective, and that was literally the last time I heard from everyone involved. That is the confusing, underwhelming story on how I broke my jaw. I don't know. Like, long story short, I do not know how I broke my jaw because I do not remember, and no one would get answers for me. I think I just have to live the rest of my life not knowing what happened to me that night. There's good and bad in it. I truly appreciate the fact that I don't remember the fall. I can't even imagine the pain of breaking your jaw in 2 places, biting through your lip, gashing your chin open, losing your teeth. I also had bruises on my chest, on my hands, on my knees. So the fall adds up. The fall makes sense. I don't think he pushed me. I don't think he punched me. I don't think I rejected him and he got angry. There's so many theories, like, in my little circle. Not that we'll ever know what was true. I genuinely do think I probably tripped and fell. I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm going to keep telling myself, because we'll never know at this point, so we can make up any sort of story about what happened. One day I will process this, and it will hit me really hard. And I fear the day that comes, because in my mind, I think I protect myself from a lot of things by just blocking it out and not paying any sort of attention to it. That's what I've been doing with the situation, and every time someone would try to get me to talk deeper about it, I would just close it off. I don't do well with processing emotions. Moral of the story, don't trust a man, don't go drinking with men alone, take the grape kit, push the drug test, and really just take care of yourself. Push for the things that you need. I wish that I advocated for myself louder and stronger and harder. And I'm so grateful that I had such a great support system with me. I'm so grateful and so lucky, because I would not have been able to get through this really difficult situation without them. And to this day, I really can't believe that it happened to me. When I tell you I had the mindset that nothing bad would ever happen to me ever. But life works in very mysterious ways. I genuinely think this was a lesson that I had to learn, and I always learn lessons the hard way. Hope that me sharing my experience can provide comfort and peace and maybe inspiration for other people in their experience. I know there's a lot of victims out there who don't believe in justice. And although I didn't get justice through police, I do think that karma always has a way of making its rounds, and everyone will get what they deserve in the end. I'm grateful for all of you guys for just caring about my story and wanting to hear it, and I hope that this video kind of makes it more clear on what happened. And if you want to hear more about my recovery experience and how I've just been coping with everything, I post videos about that.
So many times when bad things happen to us as women, people are always, saying, go and press charges, go to the police station, tell somebody, do something about it, don't keep quiet, da 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 da. But do you know that at the end of the day, all those things, they won't help you. Most of the people that report being raped by a stranger or even their family members or even somebody that they know and they have proof, or some that don't even have proof, or even if they have proof and you can do a grape test with them and they say that yes, they were raped and all of that. In fact, even though they can find the person DNA in your body, they will still not do anything like that. I just feel like the percentage of people that actually get justice for the bad things that happen to them is very low. So most of the time when we are always like quick to go and tell somebody, go and report. Most of the time when you even report, it's like people don't want to help. It's like you might not even find the help that you want. This is so sad, not knowing what happened to you. And you just have to tell yourself a story like, okay, probably you fell. What could that make you fall? You that you did not drink so much and you fall like that and you cannot remember anything. You went to the drug, you collected your samples, over 12 samples of blood, and none was a drug test. You did not do a grape test. Like, so many things that could have actually brought out the truth was blanked. Then also, the other colleague did not go for any questioning and they did not push it. The club said the security footage, they changed their system and all of that. This was not how I was expecting the whole thing to go. I was expecting her to tell us everything that happened, because yes, me personally, I was already thinking, because in my head I feel like the guy drugged her, probably was trying to touch her, and she was fighting it, and he was beating her. I don't know. But I feel like that colleague is a very wicked person, because number one, why are you not saying what happened? Because apparently you helped her to the house, and you stayed for more than 2 hours or so. What happened? You cannot say what happened. You're not saying what happened. You're waiting for her to tell you what she remembers, so that you can use what she remembers to tell her what happened. Because that's just what he's trying to do. He doesn't want to tell her what happened, because he knows that he did terrible things, and he knows that she might not remember because he drugged her. Okay, so he's asking her that, do you remember? Okay, now that you remember, tell me what you remember. So he will now use what she remembers to be able to tell her own story. Long and short of it is, our advice at the end is, don't go out and drink with a stranger, because apparently she only knew him for 2 months. So, and she has a boyfriend. I wish she had called her boyfriend before going to the bar to go drink with her colleague. Anyway, don't go out to drink with a stranger alone. And even if you go with your friend, make sure both of you live together. Make sure one of you is sane. So when the other one is losing it, if you're already getting tipsy, tell your friend that you're already getting tipsy. She should not leave your side, right? And make sure your friend is not a pick me. Of course, you cannot be friends with a pick me, okay? But make sure your friend is not a pick me, so she's gonna got your back whenever, wherever, however. Because when you're going out with a friend, you're going out to drink with a pick me friend, she's gonna leave you and follow man. Okay? So make sure you're not drinking with a friend that is a pick me, and make sure you're very careful. In fact, don't even drop your glass cup of drink. Don't drop it and leave. Don't, just if you cannot finish it, once your eyes are away already, don't drink it. Okay, don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody, especially when it comes to this man. Do not trust them. You don't know how they've been looking at you. You don't know what they've been planning towards you. And I want to even know how he knew her house. He has a key. There's a lot of things this guy is supposed to say, and if other the police are not even pushing it, and this is sad. Like, this is very sad, you guys. What's your take on this? This is the final part of the whole story time. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section, respectfully as always. And I'll see you in my next video.